What's up, fam? Welcome to my channel, Re-Vera. My name is Steve. Today I wanted to talk about mental well-being and self-care, because this is incredibly important. Our foundational values, we want to maximize well-being from behind the veil of ignorance. We want to make life better for people. So, don't worry, it's just a yellow light. And this is something you need to think about. We as humans always feel like what we're missing is ahead of us, and if we just get what we're chasing, what we're looking for, if we achieve our goals, everything's going to be better. This is an illusion our mind creates, and it's the biggest lie in the world. Achieving goals and having things in life does not make you happy. It might seem corny, but it's true. There's just as many unhappy rich people as there are unhappy poor people. So if you're thinking in political terms about how to maximize well-being in society, obviously there's a lot of things we can do to better our chances of well-being and different aspects of well-being. Minimum welfare levels to have a welfare net, and decrease suffering, and I fully support all that stuff. But as an individual, you have to think about yourself as an individual and not just the political landscape, because you can't control all that. So think about, this is something Tony Robbins talks about a lot, but Robin Williams had everything you can imagine. He was rich, he was famous, he'd won a bunch of awards, he had a family that loved him, like the whole country loved him. Like if you ask an audience full of people if they love Robin Williams, like almost everyone raises their hand. He was loved, and he committed suicide. And that just is evidence that you can have everything in the world and still not be happy. So while we're pursuing goals, because we should still pursue goals, that's, I think, part of happiness is growth and pursuing something that matters and seeking to better ourselves. But in the process of doing that, we need to remember that happiness and contentment is not at the end of our journey, it is on the journey. You're never going to get what you want and then be happy. Like if you're single and lonely, you might think that if I meet the right person and get married, then I'll be happy. Well, I mean, there's a whole lot of married people who tell you it just brings a whole new set of challenges. You might think getting more money is going to solve it, but we should keep looking to progress our life and solve our problems, but realize you can be homeless and happy and content. This is something that existed quite a bit in days of yore, so to speak. Rather, like in India, they had traveling monks who basically were homeless, and they lived off begging and just what people would give them, and they didn't own anything that they couldn't carry with them. But they had a reputation for being happy and content and wise and teaching people valuable lessons. And similar dynamics happened in Europe too, with certain traveling friars who had sworn an oath of poverty or whatever, would go around and teach people. Like, you can be happy while desperately poor, and really that realization, I think, can go a long way to making life better for you and for other people. So learning to manage your state is a huge part of making your life better. It's not just achieving goals. And I think the first part of that is just realizing that you can, and realizing that contentment isn't something that comes later. You can just decide to be content with your life as it is. I mean, just think about the fastest way to change your state is to find things you're truly grateful for. Because you could, trying to be happy doesn't make you happy, but if you think of things you're actually grateful for, it does. You can't be negative while you're thinking about that. You think about all the things you have that you might not have. If you're homeless, you can just be grateful for, the feeling of the sun on your face. Whatever bit of food you got that day. Good conversation with somebody. Petting a dog. Whatever it is. But I think most people watching this are probably not homeless, and you have a lot more to be grateful for. You have love of friends and family. You have, all the everything that we as humans have access to. So if you think about what you're grateful for, it goes a long way. So I think this is very important in this turbulent election period, because I don't want you sad, and I don't want you all stressed out. It doesn't help you achieve your goals. It's not a beneficial emotion. When people are desperate or sad or depressed, they come off as negative, and they're less likely to convince people. I've been a salesperson for almost a decade, or in sales, and I can vouch for that. If I'm having a bad month and I'm coming across as desperate and needy to people, I'm going to keep having a bad month. That's just how it works. So manage your mental state. Be grateful that we have an opportunity like this with somebody like Bernie Sanders. Be grateful that you get to work with other great Bernie people if you go meet some volunteers and do some events with them. And just enjoy the ride. You're not responsible for whether he wins or not. You're just responsible for doing all you can do. That's it. So do all you can do to help Bernie, and think about all you have to be grateful for, and that's a good place to start with managing your personal state. Just work on. I think gratitude is the secret of contentment. When you realize what you have to be grateful for, and you learn to enjoy the journey of life instead of always looking forward to the destination, and then being disappointed if the destination isn't everything you hoped it would be. So learn to be content in the moment. There's a lot more advanced tips and cool stuff you can learn. I highly recommend picking up meditation, self-hypnosis. Different types of mental discipline skills are very useful. I actually used to be a huge fan of Sam Harris. Not so much now. But I will say his Waking Up app is really good secular well-being meditation type stuff. So it's nothing remotely political. It's just from a secular point of view, so it's not teaching superstition all mixed in with it. It's just kind of how to meditate. They have guided meditations, cool stuff like that. So the Waking Up app is pretty cool. It probably does support Sam Harris, but I don't know of a better one. If you know of a better source, feel free to mention it in comments. So anyway, thanks fam. Have a great day.